This is Doane Tiger Football.
Welcome back to Crete, Nebraska. We are set and ready to get underway here in the second half with Doane leading it over Dakota Wesleyan 10-0. Now, Doane hasn't been in this situation very much, folks. Now, they lost the opener against Graceland by 25 points, and they lost the last game against Dordt by 42. I mean, those were blowout losses, but here to start the second half, they have the lead by 10 over Dakota Wesleyan. Let's do a little Dakota Wesleyan focus here. This team, their head coach Ross Semple, he took over the Tigers back in 2012, and he's guided them to 6 winning seasons. But overall, he is 60-60, literally 500. Now, he guided the team to a 9-2 record in 2015 and an 8-3 record in 2016. He does have the second most victories out of any coach in Dakota Wesleyan history. But also, this team has not made the postseason since 1992. It has been a long time for Dakota Wesleyan, and they're looking to get back on the right foot. They believe that they should be 2-0. They lost a heartbreaker last week at home against Hastings, 24-17 in overtime, when they did have the lead 17-3 in the fourth quarter. It was a roughing the punter penalty that ended up giving Hastings the momentum, ended up getting them back in the driver's seat to win that football game. So Dakota Wesleyan believes that they should be 2-0, but also they're in a tough situation here against Doane to start the second half, trailing 10-0. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. Dakota Wesleyan does get the football back to begin the second half. They did elect to kick the ball off to start the game. So it's going to be Dakota Wesleyan to return this kickoff from Doane. Big second half coming up here, folks. Doane looking for their first win of the season. Dakota Wesleyan beat Dakota State to begin the season at home 23-13. Then they lost to Hastings in OT 24-17 last week. Haven't played a road game yet this year until today. They'll play Midland next week at home. So 3 of their first 4 games of the season are at home. Meanwhile, for Doane, they split their first 4 games 2-2. 2 home games, 2 road games. This is their second home game. And they're looking like they want to try to get a win here, leading at 10-0. Kellen Meyer to get us started here in the second half. And that is a great-looking kick that's just going to bounce into the end zone for a touchback. Keel Nelson lets it go in there. So here comes Doane. Look at them running off the field. They are running off the field hype right now. I see 2 guys running off the field with hype right now. Lucas Christensen as well as Shrew Beeson, both of them on the special teams team. And they were running off hype, giving their defense some high fives. And this Doane team has a chip on their shoulder. They know what they can do, and they lead at 10-0 here at the 25 to start the third. Austin Lee, Jamin Arend lined up to his left as the tailback. And they give it to Aaron on the first play. He finds a little bit of a hole and gets forward to pick up 3 yards out to the 28. 2nd and 7 coming up here. Jarrett Boggs on the tackle, the linebacker. Coming into this game, Boggs kind of leading this linebacker core with 2 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss, and 1 fumble recovery. Came into this game with 6 tackles, and he has racked up that total since then. This game right now, Boggs in total with 2 tackles. It's a pass from Lee to the far sideline, complete across the 35 to the 36, which is enough for a first down. A pickup of about 8 yards, and the pass was complete to Cole Holden. Haven't really seen much from Cole Holden too much today, even though he did come into this game as the team's leading receiver. But he makes a nice catch there of 8 yards. It's 1st and 10 for Dakota Wesleyan across the 35. Austin Lee hasn't had the best game throwing the football compared to his first 2 games. Looking to change that here. Lee hands it off to Aaron, cuts up field and gets into the linebacker core out to the 41-yard line. So they pick up 5 on the play, and it's 2nd and 5 coming up. This game here is brought to you by Stop and Shop in Crete, fast and fresh and fun. Thank you to all of our sponsors who have supported this game today between Dakota Wesleyan and Doane. 2nd and 5 with 13.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Dakota Wesleyan with the football. Lee to hand it off to Aaron again. The fullback gets bounced outside on the far side, and he's wrestled down for a loss of 1 yard. Getting in there to make the tackle was Kellen Meyer. So actually, they'll give him a favorable spot and say that he was tackled at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd and 5 coming up. About 2 minutes into this third quarter here in Crete. The fans have shown up here for Doane here on the near sideline. They're being loud as well. So is the pep band. And the Doane sideline chanting defense as well, trying to hype up their defense. 12 on the play clock. Make it 10. 3rd and 5 for Dakota Wesleyan. Lee takes the snap, and he'll throw it. Steps up in the pocket, takes a deep shot down the far sideline, and it's in and out of the hands of Cole Holden and incomplete. Kellen Meyer was on the coverage there, and that's incomplete. Cooper Hancock was also in the vicinity of that play. And Cole Holden, folks, he just ran off the field after that drop pass, and he is upset with himself. He believes that he should have made that catch on the far sideline and give his quarterback a chance to keep the drive alive. And tough break for their number one receiver, sophomore. Here is Keel Nelson to punch it from his own 25. Jeremiah Payne will be back to return it. Calls for a fair catch. Runs up and fields it at the 50 or at the 25-yard line.
Makes a fair catch around the 26.
So Doane leading at 10-0 over Dakota Wesleyan. They'll come out for their first drive of this second half. Cruz Kerwin, folks. He did not have the best few games to start the season, especially last week. Struggled throwing 3 interceptions, but 131 yards in the first half and a touchdown pass as well. So also has 11 rushing yards on this game as well. 1st and 10 for Doane at their own 26. Joaquin Gutierrez lined up by himself to the far side. Jeremiah Payne lined up on the near side. Kerwin hands it off to Frazee Wynn, cutting up field and getting forward on a gain of about 4 yards to the 30-yard line, 2nd and 6. He also got lined up with Jeremiah Payne, John DeRizzo here on the near side. Gutierrez has done a really, really good job here. 65 receiving yards in the first half for him off of 3 receptions. Jeremiah Payne, 2 receptions for 30 yards. DeRizzo, 1 reception for 2 yards. Kerwin to pass, and that one is almost intercepted, intended for Garcia. Or rather, Gutierrez was the intended receiver and almost picked off by Hunter Cordell. Wow, Cordell had that in his hands, but it hit the turf. It was a low throw originally by Kerwin. And that is a lucky break there for Cruz Kerwin. Now they got a 3rd and 6 coming up here with 11:53 to go in the third quarter. 3 receivers here on the near side for Doane. Gutierrez is on the far side. Kerwin to pass. Pressured. Gets it over the middle. It's complete over the middle to Carson Reimers across the 40 and wrestled down at the 44-yard line. So they're able to get the first down, a gain of 14 on the play. 1st and 10 for Doane. Carson Reimers, his first reception of the game, goes for a solid pickup of 14 yards on the gain. Jeremiah Payne telling Kerwin to hurry it up. Frazee Wynn gets the carry and bounces out to the far sideline as he's tripped up at midfield. So Frazee Wynn, a nice carry of about 6 yards, makes it 2nd and 4. On the tackle was Cordell again. Cordell almost had that pick 2 plays ago. So 2nd and 4 at exactly midfield at the 50-yard line. Kerwin with Coach Bestra looking on the near side. Play action for Kerwin. Rolls to his right and fires it complete to DeRizzo across midfield. That's a first down. There's a flag on the play. DeRizzo makes the catch for now. It's a 7-yard pickup for the first down. This is going to go on Doane, though, as the far official comes over and points like it's an offensive penalty. So tough break for Doane. They're going to have to bring this one back. The main official here, Bart Fouts. And it's going to be an ineligible player downfield called on Blake Bieber, the right guard for Doane. So instead of it being a first down across midfield, it'll be a 2nd and 9 coming up here at the 45 for Doane.
2nd down and 9 at the 45.
Those penalties really can hurt a team. 8 penalties for 69 yards this season for Doane. 2nd and 9. Kerwin to pass, looking over to his left and firing it to the outside. It's complete to Payne across the 45 and gets out to about the 48-yard line. Short gain of 3 yards will make it 3rd and 6 coming up here. So they need to get it down to the Dakota Wesleyan 46.
2nd down and 6 at the 48.
They're at their own 48. Jeremiah Payne makes his 3rd reception of the game. So Payne is lined up by himself on the near side. 3 receivers on the far side is Dorizo, Gutierrez, and I believe that's Garcia. 3rd and 6. Kerwin at midfield with Doane's offense. He'll throw it. Looking downfield. Steps up. He's pressured. He's sacked. Back all the way at the 36-yard line. And it's a sack and a loss of about 7 yards on the play. It'll be 4th and 13. Cody Winslow gets in there on the sack. His first sack of the season. And the 2nd sack of the game recorded by Dakota Wesleyan's defensive line. So Doane will have to punt it. And that's the thing, folks. Those penalties, they really hurt. That would have been a 1st down across the 40-yard line for Doane. It would have been Dorizo on the catch, but the ineligible man downfield ends up resulting in a sack. Kellen Meyer to punt this one high in the air. Fair catch signaled, and it bounces inside the 20 and goes all the way down to the 1-yard line. What a punt by Kellen Meyer. And it is recovered by Zach Perez at the 1-yard line. On the signaling for a fair catch was Landon Rusink. Maybe he should have just made the catch at the end of the day, honestly. You never really want to signal for a fair catch when you're standing, or if you know the ball is going to go inside the 10-yard line, try to make the catch and not let it bounce. I mean, that ball, folks, is practically touching the goal line at this point. It's basically at the half-yard line for Dakota Wesleyan's offense. This is prime position here for Doane, especially on defense. Let's see if Dakota Wesleyan decides to pass the football here, or if they have Aaron lined up in the backfield on 1st and 10 from the half-yard line in their own territory. Lee, handoff to Aaron, finds a hole and gets upfield across the 10. He's wrestled down at the 13-yard line. So Jamin Aaron picks up 13 yards and gets them out of their own end zone. Seward and Randazzo on the tackle. 1st and 10 at the 13 for Dakota Wesleyan. 8:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. Nearing halfway through this quarter. Lee, Aaron lined up to his right. 2 receivers on the far side. Lee looking to the far side. Throws it in the flat, and it's incomplete. Intended on the play for Craig Clark. And good coverage on the play by Jackson Seward. Seward immediately hit Clark, even like right when he was about to catch that ball, he hit him, jarred the ball free, and it's 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. 8:19 to play in the 3rd. 10-0 Doane leading it over Dakota Wesleyan. Tigers versus Tigers showdown here in Crete. Lee trying to get his passing going here. They decide to hand it off instead to Aaron, who powers forward, dragging some D linemen with him, getting out to the 20 and picking up about 6 yards and making it 3rd and 4. Actually, mark it 3rd and 3. So he picks up 7. So this is going to be an interesting play call here. Does Dakota Wesleyan go with Aaron, or do they pass it, go the short route? And then for Doane's defense, does Doane send blitz here, or do they play a little conservative?
3rd and 3 at the 20.
3rd and 3 at their own 20 for the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers. Let's see here what Sean Henry, the D coordinator for Doane, draws up here defensively. 7.5 to play. Lee, play action, goes over the middle, and it's incomplete. Overshot, intended there for Wyatt Vandentop, and incomplete. And then 2 Doane Tiger players kind of hit each other.
Coverage by Fuller.
It was Marcus Randazzo as well as Jaheim Fuller who ran into each other, and then Fuller got up and looked a little shaken up after he ran into his own teammate. Either way, it's incomplete, and it's 4th down and 3, and Dakota Wesleyan will have to punt the football away. Keel Nelson will punt it from his own 5-yard line, and Joaquin Gutierrez will be standing at his own 45 to return this punt. So far today, Nelson, the punter, has done a good job with these punts, though. From his own 5, gets it off. This is a great punt. This is going to be fielded. Actually, it's going to be DeRizzo. Actually, that is Gutierrez, correction. It's going to be at the 38-yard line. We'll take a quick 30-second break on All Red 99.5. We'll be right back.
This is Doane Tiger Football.
Welcome back to Doane Tiger Football. What a run from Frazee Wynn. A gain of 11 on that first play of the drive. Gets out to midfield at their own 49. First down, Doane, after the 11-yard gain by Wynn. He's starting to rack up his rushing total in this game, and Doane looking to extend their 10-0 lead here midway through the third quarter. 7 minutes to play. Dakota Wesleyan with their blue pants and white shirts and their blue helmets. Doane in their all-black uniforms. Cruz Kerwin hands it off to Frazee Wynn, bouncing to the near side and getting across the 50, across the 40. Frazee Wynn marked out of bounds at the 39-yard line officially. That's another pickup, this time of 12 yards. Mark it a 1st down and 10 for Doane inside Dakota Wesleyan territory. Great blocking as well from Doane. There's actually a flag on the play, folks. I didn't see the flag. Coach Bessler was actually blocking the flag from my view. And from the looks of it, I think this might be holding on Doane. It's exactly where Frazee Wynn broke a tackle. And it is. It's going to be holding on David Garcia. It's actually his second holding penalty of the game, David Garcia. And we had him on the Doane Tigers coaches show on Wednesday. And he said, well, one of the ways that you make sure that you don't get called for the holding is you push, you don't pull, but also you don't get caught for it. You don't let the refs see you hold. And, well, unfortunately, he was seen on that play by the refs. So 1st and very long here for Doane. Kerwin to pass, looking downfield, takes a shot down the field for Joaquin Gutierrez, and it was overshot by about 5 yards or so and incomplete. So 2nd and 18, I believe.
It is now 2nd down.
Yeah, so 2nd and 18. The scoreboard had it 3rd and 18, but the official down marker had it 2nd down. So 2nd and 18 here for Doane at their own 41. So another penalty could result in another punt after a 1st down gain. Saw that last drive with a 1st down completion to DeRizzo, but it was called back. And now this run by Frazee Wynn's called back. 2nd and 18. Kerwin to pass it to the outside, intended for DeRizzo and incomplete on a screen pass. Overshot him. Hunter Cordell as well as Grayson Hansen were there on the coverage. 3rd and long here, 3rd and 18 for Doane. 6:17 to play in the third, 10-0 Doane over Dakota Wesleyan. This isn't going to be an easy conversion by any stretch of the imagination, but I think Doane might go with a short route here, maybe see what they can pick up here. Kerwin. Play action of Wynn. Kerwin getting pressured off the edge, gets it out to Wynn, who's wrestled down at the 40. They'll mark it, no gain on the play. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and it's 4th and 18. So luckily Kerwin was able to get that one off. He was pressured off the left side of the offensive line. So once again, Landon Rusink will be back standing at his own 15-yard line to return this punt. Kellen Meyer will punt this one from his own 25. So another penalty flag negating a 1st down play for Doane and resulting in a punt. Meyer kicks it high, but not a great punt at all as it goes out of bounds. Officially marked by the close official, and he's going to run all the way up to the 41-yard line. My goodness. It'll go down officially as about a 30-yard punt, and we'll take a quick break with 5:37 to play. 10-0 Doane over Dakota Wesleyan on All Red.
This is Doane Tiger Football.
Welcome back to Crete, Nebraska. 10-0 Doane leading it over Dakota Wesleyan. This is All Red 99.5's coverage of Doane University football. So it was Kepsell making the tackle on Aaron, the fullback on the run, or the tailback on the run. He was able to pick up 3 yards on the play, and it's 2nd and 7 for Dakota Wesleyan at their own 44, nearly at midfield. This is going to have to be Doane stepping up here to stop them here. They have great field position. Aaron gets the call again. The tailback running up field, pulling a couple guys with him and picking up about 3 more yards. So make it 3rd and I believe 4 coming up here for Dakota Wesleyan. Aaron, the running back, is a junior, but he's standing at 6 foot, 204 pounds, which is a pretty good size for a running back. He's got some strength with him as well. 3rd and 4, nearly at midfield for Dakota Wesleyan. They need to get into Doane territory to pick up the first down. The bench trying to get a little loud here for Doane. Austin Lee with Aaron behind him. Sends a man in motion. It's Nedved coming back now. Lee, now they'll hand it off to actually Mondalfa. Powers forward to midfield. He'll come up a yard short on a gain of 3 yards. So the first down play, the second down play, and the third down play of this drive, all gain of 3 yards, and in total, that results in 9 yards, so it'll be 4th and 1. And this is going to be the punt unit come out here for Dakota Wesleyan. Keel Nelson will come out and punt again. This is now the 3rd punt of the half, the 4th or the 7th punt in total in this game for Dakota Wesleyan. Jeremiah Payne, who's had a busy game with punt returning and some offensive snaps as well, will stand at his own 10. We got a flag on the play, and this is going to be delay of game on Dakota Wesleyan with 0s on the play clock. So delay of game will back them up 5 yards from the 50 back to the 45. So just tough breaks here. For some reason, the clock's still running as well with 3:05 to go. The clock should have stopped with the penalty.
Please set the game clock to 3 minutes.
So the clock wasn't supposed to run, so the play clock will be reset to 3:26.
Clock will start on the snap.
Still haven't stopped it yet as it goes under 2:45. Doane would like that if the clock ran continuously for the remainder of the game and didn't give Dakota Wesleyan much time to get back into this one, but Dakota Wesleyan wouldn't think that that's very fair. So 3:26. Now it'll be Keel Nelson to punt it from his own 30. Jeremiah Payne stands up at the 15. Jeremiah Payne, it's funny, he was actually looking at the official standing next to him and signaling for a flag after he saw that the play clock was down. Jeremiah Payne, he muffed the punt. That's going to go to Dakota Wesleyan. Jeremiah Payne muffs the punt, and Dakota Wesleyan gets the ball at the Doane 21-yard line. Hunter Cordell, I believe, was the one to recover that one. Actually, that was not Hunter Cordell. That was actually Logan Sirk. So Dakota Wesleyan gets the ball at the Doane 21-yard line, and this is not at all what you'd want to see if you're a Doane fan. Dakota Wesleyan finally getting the ball with some favorable field position. Can they convert and get some points on the board? 3:20 to go in the third quarter. 10-0 Doane leading it over Dakota Wesleyan. Dakota Wesleyan trying to play rather quickly with Lee. He's got Aaron, 6-foot junior, lined up to his left. There's a flag on the play, and it looked like maybe it was Carson LaValle jumping off sides, or maybe it was a false start. LaValle jumped, but then he points it to the O-line, signaling for a false start. And it will be a false start. So false start on Parker Grotja on the right guard. It'll back them up even farther. These penalties for Dakota Wesleyan starting to rack up and really killing these drives sometimes. On the 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15 at the 27. Austin Lee, the sophomore, and a great start to the season, 472 yards passing in his first 2 games, but today hasn't done too well. Aaron getting across the 25, able to pick up about 4 yards, or mark it actually 3 yards and make it 2nd and 12. It just hasn't been the same production from Austin Lee in this game compared to what he had last game. He had 229 passing yards the last game against Hastings, and Aaron only had 84 rushing yards. But completely different today against Doane than that game last week against Hastings. So 2nd and 11 officially. Ball placed at the 23. Handed off again to Aaron, trying to bounce to the outside, but he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. 3rd and 11. Nice tackle on the play by Tanner Simdorn. He came into this game with 2 tackles as the inside linebacker. The sophomore, 6'1", 200 pounds. Wrapping up Aaron by his legs and bringing him down. 3rd and 11. Big play here with 2:15 to play in the third quarter. Big play coming up here for Dakota Wesleyan. They have 2 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side, 1 receiver lined up in the slot. It's Kreger Clark. Trying to get the crowd loud here on the sideline as the Doane sideline. Austin Lee looking to the near sideline, and it's overthrown and completed. It's incomplete. Intended for Vandentop. Incomplete. It'll be 4th and 12. I think you got to bring out the field goal unit here if you're Dakota Wesleyan to try to get the first points on the board for the Tigers of Dakota Wesleyan. So far today, 1 field goal by Dakota Wesleyan in the first half. They're 0 for 1. There was a missed field goal by Jackson Patrick. He's 1 for 3 now on the season. 5 for 5 on extra points. We'll see if he can make this one from 40 yards out on the left hash. Trying to put 3 points on the board for Dakota Wesleyan, trailing 10-0. The hold is good. The kick is wide right by a long shot. And Jackson Patrick is now 1 for 4 on the season, 0 for 2 today. And the 40-yard field goal, no good. The 45-yard field goal earlier in the game for him was no good either. And it's 10-0 Doane, leading it over Dakota Wesleyan with 1:51 to play in the third quarter. So the muffed punt by Jeremiah Payne comes in to yield no points by Dakota Wesleyan. So Jeremiah Payne will definitely be thanking his defense when he is able to get back on the sideline. Right now he's lined up on the near side, but the defense of Doane able to hold Dakota Wesleyan to no points after the muffed punt. Kerwin and company back out. Tristan Graff lined up to the left of Kerwin. Cruz takes a snap, hands it off to Tristan Graff. Getting upfield and picking up about 2 yards out to the 25. Make it 2nd and 8 coming up here. Tristan Graff, the junior. So this running back core of Doane, pretty experienced at the moment. Frazee Wynn is a senior. Graff is a junior. So you got a lot of experience in the tailback position. And they've done a good job so far with the running game. 2nd and 8 now with 1:20 to play in the third. 10-0 Doane. And they're all black uniforms. Kerwin handing it off to Graff, trying to get upfield. Oh, we lost the football. That's a live football, and it's recovered by Dakota Wesleyan. That is Landon Rusink getting on the football at the 33. And Dakota Wesleyan has a turnover. Graff fumbles the football for the first time this season. And another turnover for Dakota Wesleyan. Either another forced fumble, I should say. Rusink got in there for the fumble recovery. And back-to-back mistakes for Doane will give Dakota Wesleyan the football with really good field position, ideal field position. And I see the offensive coordinator right now, Mike Dixon, going over to his offense. This offense, their defense is playing really well, but the offense is turning the ball over, and you just do not want to see that and give Dakota Wesleyan a chance to get back into this football game here. 1:07 to play. 1st and 10, Dakota Wesleyan from inside the 35. Play action for Lee. Pressured off the edge, and he's sacked down in the backfield. Brought down in the backfield by Tanner Simdorn. His first sack of the season coming off the right edge. And getting down Austin Lee for a sack. What a nice play right there by Simdorn, who got in there. He's been making some big plays recently. Over the last few times, Doane came into this game with 2 sacks. And they're playing really, really well right now. 3 sacks now on the season. That was sack number 3 right there. 2nd and long now. Lee to pass. Steps up in the pocket. Throws it on a line inside the 30 and down to the 25-yard line. He's still on his feet. They'll mark him down at the 24. That's a nice gain of about 15 yards right there. Keel Nelson makes the catch. And it's 3rd and 1 coming up here for Dakota Wesleyan. So nice pass by Lee. So after the sack by Simdorn, they pick up 15 yards and they're able to make it 3rd and 1. Well, the 000 hits the clock, and the crowd and the players holding up 4s. We'll head to the 4th quarter with Doane up 10-0 over Dakota Wesleyan. Yet Dakota Wesleyan trying to get into the red zone and get some points on the board. 10-0 the scoreline heading into the 4th on All Red 99.5.